Hey dudes, I think it's me. I think the camera's on me, but it doesn't matter. Alright, well, here's the thing. It wasn't 4 months ago. 6 months ago? Maybe it was in April. I decided no more raging. No more tilt. Let's not tilt. And I'm pretty ambitious in that aspect, so I really did it tilt for like 3 days. I'm playing League of the Past. I tilt quite a lot. I have a history. I definitely have a history of tilting, raging, frustration, and I've seen the worst. I've seen the worst of it. And actually, let me say, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I don't tilt. I won't tilt. There's no point. No reason to get mad." Sure, but then they don't really play the game. You know, it's like if you don't play the game and you're not tilting, get out of here. You know, that doesn't count. You really need to face the worst, in my opinion. You've really got to be in the worst position to really know. I mean, otherwise, you're just wasting people's time. You're just wasting your time. So anyway, I was this is the worst, and I was like, no more tilting. Let's not tilt. It worked for like 3 days, 3 or 4 days. I didn't tilt. No rage, no tilting. My runs are better. I don't know if the wind is too much. My runs are better. And they're more consistent. I was able to do more of them. Great. I mean, isn't that the ideal everybody wants? But then, we rage so much, we don't get it. But at least for like 3 or 4 days, I was getting that ideal. Cool. And then I think I didn't play the next day, and then the next day afterwards, I reset. And then like 3 days after, I don't really remember. It was a while ago, but a few days after, I started raging again. Maybe I was raging worse afterwards. Nah, it was the same. But I was raging a lot, tilting a lot, which is normal. That was the norm. So I didn't really accomplish anything. I went in saying I'm not going to tilt. Look at the bus. Very cool bus. I don't have my bus. I do have a bus, but I don't have any reason to ride the bus. So I started raging and tilting like a lot after. And my whole point though is like, is that good? Was that a good thing? I mean, it kind of was good because I wasn't. What's the word? Hold on, I gotta switch hands. I wasn't like if I just continued to play and not experiment like that, would I have been better off? No, I don't think I would have been better off. Would I have been worse off? I don't think I would have been worse off either. I think it's neutral. Now I did learn that like, hey, this is actually is good because people always say, all right, I need to not tilt today. But I mean, I've argued tilting actually doesn't impact your performance. And so I think that was an interesting experiment for me, But it collapsed, and so like, what was that to do? Because I think most people's conventional solution is just force yourself to not tilt again, and over and over and over, and over a long period of time. You'll get better. I'll probably be able to do a month of runs without tilting, a month of runs without getting salty or mad, or you guys know, whenever you play games and you get mad, frustrated. I don't see that a lot. I don't know if that's true. And it was 5 or 6 months later, I actually pretty much proved that wrong. And I didn't really prove it wrong, of course, but because I guess honestly, I'm sure it is true. But through my suffering and pretty much just playing like the past, which is the equivalent of suffering. It's no difference. I kind of stopped tilting, and I still do. I still rage, and I still tilt. And actually, I'm going to talk about what my real thoughts on tilting are, because I think it's a little bit more complex. And I think, you guys heard the argument I made earlier. I don't even think it's a bad thing. I don't actually think it affects your gameplay. I think it is an effect of your gameplay. Therefore, it can't affect your gameplay if it is an effect of your gameplay, right? You know, like that's like saying, not dying in Helmasaur is the greatest thing you can do to affect your gameplay. Well, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Maybe you're playing League of Legends. What's the best thing you can do to affect your gameplay? Get a bunch of kills. Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. And actually, I think they're right. Actually, I think you're wrong, but if you get a bunch of kills, yeah, sure, it will affect your gameplay. I guess it could. I mean, that's not the best argument, but the point is that that's just a stupid thing to say. That's how I see that tilting. You know, I feel like tilting, it is an effect. So, and I think it's a conscious, rational effect. So I don't think it's really an issue. But anyway, I'll go back to what I think tilting is, because I think a little bit more diverse than most people would think. And like one really kind of important thing about it is that, shit guys, there's like two main what is a tilt. There's the implicit and the explicit that I talk about so a lot. I love. I'm not certain this is the end all. You know, maybe there's more, but as far as I'm concerned, you got implicit tilting and you got explicit tilting. Of course, explicit tilting's very obvious. You throw your controller at your bed, or that's what I do, or the ground, or you hit your SNES, or you start rage typing in chat if you put, playing like Dota or something, or Princess Pony Adventures or something. You know, that's an explicit tilt. Now, here's the thing different than an implicit and explicit decision. All of these are implicit. These are all implicit. Nobody chooses to do this crap. In my opinion, So, it's emotional. I guess it's an emotional response. You don't really have control over it. But it's explicit because it's obvious. The implicit tilt is very subtle, and I think this is the real hard part to fix. And I think it's the same reason you can't just say no rage, time to not rage, and then because if you tell yourself, okay, I won't rage, or your parents are like, hey, play it, do a run, we want to watch you, or maybe your girlfriend's parents, let's step the awkwardness way up. Your girlfriend's parents are watching you. You're not about to start screaming fuck every 3 minutes, And actually, guys, little tangent, I think you should scream fuck. No, I don't think that, but I don't think it matters. I think if you constantly cursing, why would that affect your gameplay? Why would that make you play worse? I don't see why it would. So your grandparents are in the room, and they are watching you. Yeah, you can't scream fuck me every 3 seconds, right? But you're still gonna tilt, and so that explicit tilting's gone. You can pretty much turn that off. You're not gonna throw your controller around. You're not gonna start freaking out. Maybe some people will. Maybe some of you man-childs will. We all do it occasionally. But generally, it's just what happened. So, but you're still gonna tilt, and these are the implicit tilts coming. You make a small mistake, completely normal, natural thing that will happen. And then you're like, darn. Or, maybe you're like, whatever, I don't really care. Go to the next room, make another mistake. And now you're like, dang, you think about it, you're like, that's not good, I need to avoid that. You're not even mad, but like, and then you make a third mistake. Or like, you'll make a mistake. A better example is you make a mistake, and then you're distracted on it. You can't think, And then, that's not good. Because that's usually you'll make another mistake. Or maybe, focus leveling goes down or whatever. So that's an implicit tilt, and I don't really think forcing yourself to not tilt, like literally forcing it. That's what I did. 3 days, I've completely forced it. My runs were a lot better. But there's still a problem where I had no idea what I was thinking. It just all crashed down. Of course, my runs were better, which is nice. So, I guess what I was saying is, tilting. Oh yeah, I'm starting to not tilt anymore, and I still do, but A lot less. And there's no anger. There's absolutely no anger in my gameplay. There's no rage. I rarely curse. I do occasionally. Honestly, I do. But I was playing Melee the other day, the whole tournament. I didn't care at all at any point. Any point in any games, I was completely neutral. I was like, whatever, you know. I would completely die, SD sometimes. I don't care. You know why I don't care? It's because I'm starting to understand the game better. And it doesn't make any sense to rage, you know? It's completely, you know, what's the word? It's not trivial. It's like, pointless, you know? It doesn't do anything. In fact, yeah, oftentimes it does bad stuff for you, so. I'm starting to not tilt anymore, and it's great. I'm enjoying that, you know. I think the next point is to be able to play confidently and precisely in tight situations, or some, you know, degree of that. But that's the one thing about tilting. Like, I think the tilting starts to shed. I really think it starts to shed the more you start to understand about a game. Like, you know, because again, I mean, this goes into everything I talked about recently. The whole skill, and skill's not a baseline, you know. Like, I'm trying to get a job right now, and believe me, guys, I have no fucking clue how to get a job. But I'm trying my hardest. Like, it'll happen. Hopefully happen sooner than later, but yeah, it'll happen. So the thing about getting a job, though, is you can have different degrees of qualifications, like, you know, different skill set. But I mean, if you get the job, you get the job, right? It's a baseline. Like, skill is completely the opposite, and the results in, like, the past are, I guess there's a skill in either, but, like, it's the difference between, like, a ladder, a leaderboard, and, you know, a qualification. You know, there's no qualification to get a certain time in a leaderboard. Like, you just, whatever your skill is, you get an appropriate time for, like, you know, getting a job. Or I would say most things, not in the real world, most things in human constructed society work in this principle, where you just need to get a qualification and then you hit a certain bar. And I think it's easy on people's minds, but, you know, the real world, I don't think the real world works like that at all. The evolution doesn't work like that. I mean, we're all products not of that at all. We're products of the skill argument. So I guess you can make arguments, because, like, no, yeah, I can see the argument, because it's like, if you pass your genes on, it doesn't matter. That there's skill involved in passing your genes on, but it's just a baseline. It's whether you pass it on or not, you know. It's whether you get the job or not. So, yeah, okay, you know, I can see the argument, because I think over a long period of time, the skill starts to show, you know, like, the this causative principle I was talking about starts to show. So I'll rescind that statement, but interesting to think about, because one thing I want to model a lot of my thoughts, and I'm not sure, this might be a bad idea, but I want to model a lot of my thoughts after the real world, because I really believe the real world, it's not like just a factor. It's not just like it's not like there's the real world, and then there's the virtual world, and then there's, you know, some other world. No, that's not how it works at all. We exist in the real world. Everything that exists right now is a cause, you know. Oh, what's the word? It's an effect. It's all causative. Everything, you know. So there's only one world. There's only one reality we live in. So, like, why would I shape anything not around that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying? So that's something I'm interested in. I'm interested in thinking about. I'm not sure that's right. And I'm not sure, you know, if I'm able to do that at all, or, you know, maybe there's more to it. I don't think there's even more to it, really, but I mean, it's interesting to me, like, because I think people try to shape their, and I mean that's kind of how society is shaped. People try to shape their gameplay around things that like aren't non-causative principles, and it's like, I think, again, you know, I mean, the whole point is if you shape it around the reality you want. I mean, like, people will want a specific goal, and so they'll like try to get that goal, and then that's not causative. That's, you know, they're trying to get a goal, and then you work backwards from the goal. But like the real world, and you know, I would argue, actually, yeah, it's everything in the real world. It doesn't work like that. It's you have a skill set, some, you know, hypothetical skill set, or a philosophical skill set. I don't know the word. And then you work backwards. And so, I guess it's not really working backwards, but you know, you guys know what I mean. Where you get a result based on the skills, you know, it's the results and effect of your skills, not the other way around. I think people want to use the result to prove their skills, right? They'll say, "Oh, I got this result, therefore I'm this good." Where that's exactly my argument. Actually, that's not how it works at all. It's, I'm this good, therefore I got the result. You know, I think when you say that I got the result, therefore I'm this good, that is a true statement. That is true, and this is kind of this whole Bruce Lee water argument I was talking about yesterday, where it's optimally it's the same, right? Like, that is a true statement, but kind of the problem, or one of the big problems, is every other case it doesn't work like that. You know, in the second worst case, where you don't get the result, the whole thing collapses. Like, if you don't get the result, then your skill's not, you know, you don't have the skill and you can't prove anything. But with someone who's looking at it the other way around, suddenly, if they have they get a specific result for their skill set. So no matter what result they get, they're happy with it, right? Because that's just what their skill set allows. That's just what their skill set asks for, you know? So, it's a win. It's glad. What do you guys think? I've noticed something I keep doing in the past 10 minutes. I don't know if you guys caught on to this. I definitely did. I keep apologizing for everything I'm doing. And I'm doing it through unconscious, unspoken communication cues. And you guys can't even see my face. So it's like crazy. So dude, that dude is giving me a little shout, dude. So I'm saying I keep apologizing for everything I'm doing. Actually, you guys notice that? Interesting. I'm trying to think about that, you know. So interesting. But anyway, because I believe, and again I did it there, you know, and again I believe. Where I say again before, you know, because what's happening there is, I feel like you guys have already heard this. So I'm apologizing that I've already heard it, so I'm saying it again, right? So there's the apology, right? You know, it's the subtlety. And there's all this unspoken communication, you know. I mean, 90% of communication's nonverbal. Well, I made an argument that it's 100%, and actually the verbality or whatever is completely, you know, not real. It's not a real thing at all, because what happens is, even if you say I'm sorry, you know, it's like that doesn't mean you're actually sorry, right? So, you throw the words out the window. So anyway, and actually, here's the thing. I want to get rid of these apologies, little apologies. I don't like apologizing for everything I do, even when I shouldn't, you know. I think if you, like, hurt somebody, go apologize to them, or be apologetic or whatever, you know. And you not necessarily should, but, like, it's definitely appropriate, at least. And, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. Why am I apologizing? This is destructive. And I mean, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of my, and I don't know if I uploaded these videos. And actually, maybe I should just make one now. But I was talking a lot about male empowerment. I know feminists will get mad at me now, but I'm all for male empowerment, actually, because I'm pretty sure men are designed to be empowered. power, right? I mean, am I going to be sued for saying that? Like, isn't that how the world works? Like, isn't that just how reality works? And actually, again, this could make a good argument that's not how the world works, because it just was how the world works, you know. But now maybe the world's changing, and maybe it's going to be more, you know, generally like anybody can be in power. I'm okay with that. But I still think men have a lot of them, you know, I guess freedoms. They're a lot freedoms to be in power more or whatever. I don't know. So, but the point is, I want to stop apologizing, but I can't force myself to not apologize. That's exactly what I was doing earlier, forcing myself to not tilt. I will see better results. I just will see slightly better results. But it's gonna go away. The rage is gonna come back. I'm not gonna know why. You know, I'm gonna be caught up in the, you know, emotion. It's not gonna work. It's gonna collapse. Like, what's the point? What's the point of even trying? So, what I can do though, and actually, this is the great part about this. It's not even what I can do. It's actually certain. I don't have choice over it. If I don't want to do it, I'm screwed. And the thing is, certain people can't apologize needlessly for themselves, you know? Because again, their skill set doesn't allow for it. You guys see what I'm saying? This is my whole gameplay theory, understanding theory. My gameplay theory, I think why do people win? I want to know why people win. Why consistently? Why do people completely dominate usually? How can someone get so good at a game? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's my original question of gameplay theory. And then the premise behind it all was that people will purposely lose. They'll purposely use excuses. Tons of excuses to lose, you know? And it's all invisible. It's all super subtle and subconscious. And it actually gets into another point. And at this point, I forgot what I was saying. Which I'm sad about. It's a good rant, but whatever. Because my point is, I don't know, is this store even open? It's 10:30. I'm at my favorite store. It's 10:30. I don't know if it's open. I don't think so. I mean, there's a TV. The TV's on. I have no idea. It's Monday? I think it's Monday. Yeah, there's people in there. Like one person. We'll wait out. I need to get some bagels. I don't need to get some bagels. I definitely want some bagels though. But, and I wish I completely forgot what I was talking about again. Is that good? Is that better? The point is, alright, let's go back. Let's go back like 30 feet. Or 50 feet to the left. Remember what I was talking about. Okay, I don't want to apologize. Forcing myself to not apologize isn't going to accomplish anything, realistically. And in fact, a better way, not a better way, but just the way the world works. I mean, this is just the way the world works. It's not even a method at all. This is just how the world works. If I just have this right skill set, you know, it just won't happen. The causative results just won't happen. So, and then the point of that is I'll benefit more, you know? I'll benefit more. And I'll end up getting better results, you know. I guess it's like levels of results. So, how does that relate to what I was talking about? I don't know. I forgot again. Every time people walk by me, I get distracted. Another thing I want to work on, but it's okay. That's okay. It'll improve over time. Oh yeah, check this out. Because I started to get into gameplay theory, and I started to get into excuses. This is big. I started to get into excuses. And this is perfect, actually. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That guy who walked by, it distracts me. And I forgot what I'm talking about, right? The quality of the vlog is worse. Darn. It's going to engage my viewers less. It's not as good or whatever. And so I'll use, that guy walked by. He distracted me. Yeah, I can't have that. I need proper solutions. And so I think what the general failing mind will do is say, hey, okay, just don't have people near me. That is true. That will work. But that is an excuse. Because really what's going on is I stopped talking. You know, if I had kept talking, wisdom go by me at all, it would have been a non-issue. And I argue that excuses get so cryptic, I guess. the words completely irrelevant. In fact, you can have two people say the exact same thing or do the exact same thing, and whether it's an excuse or not is irrelevant. I guess the action, the words is irrelevant. It's more about subtle, subconscious, like wiring and like that kind of stuff. So that's kind of an interesting argument, and I think it's part of the reason why. Because I want to be a beast. I want to do the things I want to do, and I want to feel good about myself. I mean, who doesn't? But I want to, and I don't know why. Like, I want to come to a conclusion, and I know it will soon or eventually, but I want to come to a conclusion why, and I'm thinking, and I can't think of one. But I think it's part of the reason why you can't get caught up in the past. I mean, think about it. Like, if you say something or if you do something and it's wrong, and you come to the conclusion that it's wrong, that's what's important. That's not true. That's not true at all. Because go back to the excuses. They're completely ambiguous whether what you're doing is an excuse or not. You have to play in the moment. You can't worry about the past. It's irrelevant. So like you actually end up thinking about it just now. You actually end up your only viable thing to do is play in the current. Suddenly the past is irrelevant. But that doesn't increase your performances. I'm thinking in order to increase your actual results and performance, I'm actually thinking it just takes a lot of effort, thinking, and hard work, and trial and error. I mean, why not? In order to get better at Link of the Past recently, in the past month or 2 or 3 months, it was entirely playing the game, failing, making mistakes, and then coming to solutions. I claim a lot of it is thinking, but I came to the conclusions based on trial and error. And I'm like, because in real life I have a lot of problems. Like, I'm not confident at all. I know I can be. I'm like, why not? And I can't think my way out of it. But I'm not making any effort. I'm not making any attempts. And I'm thinking, it was the same in Link of the Past. Like, for years I would play the same, and that always annoyed me. And the thing, I think when you do that, what happens is suddenly when you play for years and years and years and nothing ever happens, you think that you're like doomed to play like that, I think I may have been thought of the wrong words there. But once I started thinking rationally, thinking and added some thought into my gameplay. Oh yeah, I guess you're also doomed. You're doomed to thinking that you'll never improve by just playing. And so playing just becomes irrelevant. But when I started thinking logically, my mind opened up. The amount of ideas. Like, I played for 3 years or 2.5 years. It's about 3 years, 2.5, 3. I never was able to not choke. I was never able to not tilt or get distracted or nervous. My consistency was virtually identical the whole way through. I mean, you start to feel doomed. You start to feel like, how do I improve? How do you improve? I mean, is this really how much effort it takes? But then you see people who are better than you that consistently and easily do it. And so, obviously, that's not true, because how are they able to do it, It doesn't make any sense. At least to me, it doesn't make any sense. And so I started to come to the conclusion that it's up here, it's how you think, and then you get certain results. And so based on that, I wanted to auto fix all my problems, but I think you need to play. I think you need to play and make mistakes, and then start thinking and thinking about how the game works. And so if real life is just a big game, I mean, I've lived the last 24 years. I haven't seen any improvements, right, in myself. I just haven't. My gut instinct, why? I think some people a lot of people pretend they. Oh yeah, okay. Short intermission. These little apologies I make. The point is, I think it's easy to see those as an excuse, but someone else could say the exact same words, same inference, same everything, and what's up, dude?
Hey.
What's up, man?
you have a cigarette possibly?
What's up?
Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. I thought I'd ask you.
Ron. What's up, man? Just hanging out.
Pretty much.
Cool, dude. I'm vlogging, by the way, so
Yeah, I
if you're wondering.
that.
You're wondering. Cool. Well, keep it real, man. Keep it real, dude. That's a dude. Dude I just met. I don't know. I'm not very good at talking to people, but I'm getting better at it. I'm more open to talking to people. You know, why not? You know, dude is a weirdo, but I don't know. Maybe he's on drugs or something. I figured it's better to be aggressive. And actually, that was a lot better than it usually is. So. But my point is, if someone makes the same inferences and exact same everything, it's I'll do it as for me. It's an apology. You can have the different person say and same inferences, everything's identical, but they're not apologizing, you know. And it's like, I guess technically as a result, the inferences it's different, but like it's virtually identical. So that's pretty interesting to me. I think it's pretty interesting. You guys didn't see it. Like, dude's wearing like a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog costume. I'm not even joking. Like, I wish he'd come back over, dude. Like, honestly, I should like interview him. Some shit. It's just annoying. I'm like vlogging. I mean, you guys didn't see it. He's literally like 6 feet away from me. I'm fucking vlogging and talking to myself. Nobody does this, so usually people think it's weird. But nobody comes up. People don't usually come up 5 feet away from me, like just looking at me. Like, come on, dude. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, man. Like, get the fuck out of here. But hey, you know, because in all good fun, dude. Why not interview him? Why not have some fun? That's what Donald Trump does. He just has fun, dude. Which I really want to do that, and one day I will. And that's exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I mean, because I can't do it, and I get really frustrated with myself. And it's the same thing. I can't go on an interview and kill the interview and have a great time. And I get really frustrated with myself. You know, I know I could be able to, but I'm starting to think, and it's the same thing in like the past, because in the last 24 years, I haven't improved at all. And I think, now I'm thinking logically though, and I think I just need some groundwork. I need to get out there and try and fail, you know, because it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better, and I'm learning a lot about the real world, like subtleties, little stuff like that. Like, for example, having power over people, you know, not in a bad way, but you know, like if you go on the aggressive, you know, usually you have complete control of the situation. Stuff like that. That's not really a will. It's not. It's just a thing. You know, anchoring bias. I heard about that the other day. If you trying to do a trade deal, and you just say something really, really high, it anchors them to have a bias at that high number. You know, that's too high. Both you'll go lower. You'll both go lower. But just subconsciously in their head, they're thinking of a number that's automatically bet in your favor. So it's like. People are victims of that no matter what. Like, that's just these facts of this real world that I'm trying to learn and realizing, and I'm like, it's a game. Like, the world's a game. People are part of the game, you know. Link of the Past has its own rule set, you know. People have their own rule set too, and I think a lot of people are scared that they'll be evil or they'll be what's the word? Like, they'll be Hitler. They'll be the next Hitler. They'll abuse their girlfriend or something. I was used to be scared of that a lot, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, think about it, you know. It's possible. I think it's possible for everybody. But one, if it's going to happen, I mean, it's going to happen. Like, preventing it, like trying to like bottle it up, it's not going to do anything. It might make it worse too. And then just generally, it's not going to happen for most people. So I think people are really scared of that. But like, I'm not. I kind of shed those fears because it's like. I'm starting to shed them. Because it's like it doesn't make any sense to me, you know. Alright, fucking How to Tame Your Dragon is coming over here, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Because honestly, guys, that's just fucking weird. The dude's, I think he's either has like Down syndrome or he's on fucking like Ritalin or something. I don't know. And honestly, power fucking to you if you guys have Down syndrome or on Ritalin. I mean, go out, like go home. But like I'm just trying to fucking block. Give me a break. So, and also, I don't know why he's gonna fucking. It's not October anymore. It's not Halloween anymore, man. What are you doing, dude? I'm trying to fucking vlog. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. I don't remember what I was saying. I don't remember the fuck I was saying. What's this door, dude? Look at this door. Oh, you guys can't see it. Look at that door. It's a nice door. Oh yeah. Anyway, like I think by just like just trying, getting out there, failing, I think I actually will get to a place where I want to be, where I like, you know, that's good. I think that's good. And I saw that in Link to the Past. You know, I've seen that a lot in Link to the Past. I've started to see that in real world too. So feeling a little bit better right now. I was kind of feeling down. I've been feeling down the past 2 days because like I'm like, geez, I just can't compete at a top level, handle the top level. Plus, I woke up at 4 p.m. and it's 11, and I honestly it feels like 6 p.m. So I got nothing to do. Like I honestly probably walk around for like 3 hours, but it's starting to get late. I mean, you get the crazies coming out when it gets late, and I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get. But see, the thing is, in my peak performance, I can handle crazies because it's like there's a lot of like power, human things, like human, like, you know, social roles and like cues and all that crap. Even if you run into someone who's legit crazy, or you run into someone who's you know, a threat, or like they're drunk, or you don't want to deal with them, if you can handle it right. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, and this sounds awful, guys, but look at crazy people. The vast majority of people that a crazy person will come across in their lifetime, they actually don't do anything to, right? And I know that sounds stupid. Like, I mean, I'm talking about like literal psychopaths. The vast majority are not. They're safe. They're not a threat. Statistically, that's still pretty good. Now, in reality, that's terrible. It's a terrible thing to say, too, I think. Well, at least in college campus, you can't say that. But in the real world, it's bad. It's not good. Like, I think if you're harming anybody, you know, you're a threat. That's bad. But if you're harming, like, you know, 1 in 100, 1 in a million people, like, I mean, my point is, if I'm walking home and some crazy dude comes up to me, I mean, if I have the proper skills to handle the situation, nothing's gonna happen. Generally, I mean, it's a high chance. Maybe he has a gun or something. Maybe he wants to rob me. I don't know. It's possible, but you know, and I guess I don't want to get robbed, you know. But I mean, even the robbery thing, if you handle the situation correctly, and I don't think I have the skill sets to do that right now, but I think it's a possible thing, you know. And saying that, I don't think it's a possible thing. It's certain that it's a possible thing. You can think it's not a possible thing. It's still a certain thing. And actually, I argue this is a certain outcome. It's a certain outcome based on your skill. You have no control over it. You'll just do it if you do it, you know. And that's one of the excuses I always talk about. Is people like, they'll freak out and they'll cower, and then they're like, these are these subtle, invisible excuses, right? That's their certain outcome. And the one thing they did wrong is not optimize that outcome. Like, if you can optimize your outcome, let's see if this dude's fucking slow here. If you can optimize your outcome, it's better to optimize the outcome than to let the whole thing collapse. You'll get a better result. Even if you still objectively, you know, failed it. And Melee is a good example of that, where at the end of the day, it's you either fail or you succeed. There's no reason to not optimize the outcome. I think it happens in Melee a lot, where like people they're like, I need to get this edge guard, you know. And this is originally where my gameplay theory evolved. It was, I need to get this edge guard, and so they're like, okay, I need to, you know, kill them right here. And so they'll try to edge guard you, and then they'll suicide, and then they die. That's the excuse. You know, this is how it all stems. And they're not optimizing the situation at all. Someone who's optimizing the situation, same exact skill set. And you could argue that, you know, if you understand this stuff, then your skill set's better. Sure, whatever. But point is, they're virtually the same player. And actually, I sort of disagree with that, because you don't actually need to do a lot of trial and error to upgrade like this. I did it for Link to the Past. I mean, I immediately improved for this. Pretty much overnight. Actually, I did improve overnight. I did a mirror shield run. I failed. Actually, I think I failed like 12 hours of mirror shield runs. I had a breakthrough, had a revelation. I did one more mirror shield run completely. That's the only mirror shield run I did that I didn't fail or lose major times throughout the run. I was like, well, that's actually pretty cool, you know. I mean, that was an instant fix, but I needed to fail a bunch more for that. And I don't know. I mean, you can make all kinds of arguments, whatever. Throw it out the window, I guess. But the point is, like, if they don't have the right skill set, they'll be like, I need to get this edge guard, I need this kill, but then they realize, I need to also this. I mean, it's better to optimize the situation, right? And if you look at Melee, you know, what's very important? Well, I was talking about in League of the Past, you know, mitigate time losses as much as you can. You know, in Melee, don't die, you know, don't get hit. Don't give them opportunity as much as you can. And actually, I think another thing in Melee, this is pretty extreme. I'm going to talk about it, and then I'm probably going to end this vlog because it's pretty cool. So what they'll do is they won't forcibly SD, because it gives them more options. You know, if you don't go for the stupid, literally stupid 50-50, it's not even a 50-50. I mean, these things are never 50-50. They just SD. You know, it's more like an 80-20. 80% they lose. Because there's a 20% chance the opponent does the exact same thing that they do, where the opponent fucks it up also, and then their move randomly works. It randomly works, and so it's like 10% of the time it'll work, and it's just dumb. So my point, and you might still lose the game, but you get another shot. Your results by the end of the day, your results are slightly better. But you're not qualified to win, and he beats you next game, 3 stocks you next game. You know, and you lose 1-2. The back doesn't care, like, don't give a shit. So you're the same player, but you know you're thinking logically, and you already came to a bunch of conclusions, and you actually did perform better as a result of thinking logically. Now that you're thinking logically, you looked over the game, you're like, huh, you know, I can prove 100 different things in this game. Over a period of 1 to 2 months, 6 months, a year, you're going to skyrocket past everybody else around you. That's what I'm starting to think, because, like, your brain is so unhinged, it's so open, you know. And I think a lot of this stems from failing, accepting failure, accepting defeat. I think if a player, like, accepts that I didn't get any food. I really wanted to get some food, but I just didn't. I don't know. There's like, I need to get a job. I think the real point is if I can get a job, then, you know, I think things will be better. So, I don't remember what I was talking about. Again, I always like Sidetrack. It's just fine. I mean, it's a dinky ass vlog. It's at 11 p.m. The moon is not much bigger. Could you get to the moon? I'm disappointed. I'm honestly disappointed. Yesterday, it's supposed to be huge. I didn't even see it, and honestly, with that disappointment in the sky, I don't care. And I'm partially joking there, but it's still like, come on, what the fuck? This is a small ass moon. Oh, this new store's opening. Maybe they'll be hiring soon. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about, oh yeah, the player who does slightly better, you know, because he's not. Less excuses. Oh yeah, okay, so I think the point is get rid of the yeah, you have to fully accept defeat, you know. I think if a player who can fully accept defeat, and again, you can't force it. I mean, this is not something you can force, but you can try, and you do better, you know. So anybody can try. Actually, I think anybody can accept defeat 100%, because it's all it takes is making an effort. All it takes is trying, you know. So I think if a player just tries, they really, truly tries their hardest. And this is the trick. I think this is a trick, because if you're not trying your hardest, why not? And usually for me, it's because, or at least I see this and I believe this, and I've literally never seen a counterexample. It's because usually if people are trying their hardest, it's because they have all these excuses up, you know? And they're using these excuses to not try their hardest. I mean, there's no reason to not try your hardest. If your left hand physically does not work, you know, that's not an excuse. I mean, how is that an excuse? You could adapt to playing one-handed. Most people, if they lost their left hand randomly in an accident, they would go into the game and they'd be like, well, my left hand doesn't work. I'll just, you know, try to play, and then, you know, they'll fail and be like, oh, this is dumb, I can't play. And these are the excuses, you know. But I think a player who's truly talented will go into that and they'll really try their hardest, right? And they fuck up, they die, they lose, they fail, and they're like, They start thinking, you know. They start really thinking. My experience, every single time I'm pushed up against the wall and I fail, I come out 100 times better. Every single time. 100% of the time. I've never. And even that dude in the Dragon Ball suit, you know, he's a good example where he failed right there, you know. I could have saved this situation, I didn't. I could have saved this situation. He could have saved this situation. We both know that. But he failed. He failed. It was awkward. He's probably on drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes, you know, fuck away from me. That was a failure on his part, right? But he has all these excuses up, you know, and one of the excuses is his own self-loathing. And so because of this self-loathing, he's never able to hit rock bottom. He can't hit rock bottom. And he'll never improve as a result, because he's always got this self-loathing excuse always hanging over him. And, how how can that's what I think. I mean, that's what I think from my experience playing everything I've seen. I've never seen this not happen. And I mean, I'm talking about video games. I'm talking about real life. Everyone I see, literally everybody. People who are complacent in life and they get depressed. The whole life is just excuses, and they're not trying to fix them. There's no reason to not perform your best every day. For example, because what happens is people don't perform their best. They complain about work, and it's like you're not even making an effort. And these are logical statements too. This isn't like an extreme. Again, I go back to the thing earlier. It's like, what do you lose by trying your hardest? You don't lose anything. You never lose anything. It's never the case. Paying attention for an hour instead of just getting distracted every 5 minutes. That's not difficult. That's not you don't exert. That's not exertion. There's no. I'm sure there's studies that claim it's exertion, but realistically, it's not. It's the exact same thing that's going on. So, some dudes coming out. Maybe come hang out with me. Maybe come smoke some pot meeting. Ask me for some cigarettes. So, have an orgy with the guy in the dragon suit. So, that's kind of the whole point about trying and excuses. And really, all this stuff from tilting. Of course, the version of this vlog, which I believe, again, tilting, I actually do think is an excuse. I think choking is an excuse. Everything's an excuse. And I hope you guys enjoyed my vlog. Talking about, honestly, guys, let's be fucking real. I'm just talking about random shit. And I will say, I think I'm apologizing a little bit less. I think being aware of the issue, thinking about it critically, I'm not making any major changes to my vocabulary or anything. I'm not really forcing myself. I just thought about it. I think it's a little bit better. I'm more aware of it. So I'll see you guys later.